Alright, we are finally continuing to work on the internal spline cutter project that I started months and months ago. We're hopefully going to try and maybe finish it in this video. I'm not entirely sure. It's going to take a lot of work to do that. But this, I just bought at the scrapyard. This is 6 by 6 by 5.5 feet long by 1/4 inch thick square beam or whatever. This thing was like $10 at the scrapyard. So this is what we're going to be using for the base or the table of this project. I did buy a XY table off of was that Amazon? I think it was Amazon that I bought it. It was like $100 and something bucks. Super cheap, kind of cheap Chinese, but it should work. We're going to be attaching that to here. And then that thing that we've been working on for months, the thing that slides back and forth, we're going to be attaching that here. And then the linear actuator is going to be going over here to make it move back and forth. So at first I was thinking of building a wooden table for this to rest this on, but now I'm looking at it, I'm not sure if a wooden table is going to hold up this thing. Once it's done, this thing's going to be very, very heavy. So I think the easiest thing to do would just be to weld some legs onto this. I'm going to make them to where I can bolt them off, so it'll be a lot easier to move this. So I think the first thing to do is to clean this thing up, get all the rust off of it, and then figure out how high we want it off the ground, and build some legs for it. sure what happened. I don't know if my math calculations were incorrect or I didn't factor in something when I cut these, but this thing turned out way too tall. If I built this thing like this, the piece that we're working on when this thing's finished is almost going to be at eye level. So we're going to have a handle up here, 2 handles over here. This is obviously the front, this is the back. So I guess we need to shorten it, which kind of sucks because I just finished welding this whole thing together. But there's no way that I'm not shortening this. This thing's way too tall. I guess the easiest thing to do would be to take the legs off and cut them off of the square tubing on the bottom and just cut 6 or 7 inches out of it and then weld it back on. Yep, let's make this thing shorter. Alright, so I'd say that this is a lot better height for this thing. It seems perfect. Now, we have to bolt this down to the table, and I just measured. There's 4 bolt holes on the bottom of this, and I just measured they are 6 inches apart. And this beam is 6 inches, so unfortunately none of them are going to line up. And we can't just simply drill some holes into this thing and bolt this thing down. So I just cut out this. Basically what we're going to do is I'm going to cut out a section in here 4 inches deep and then place this right here level with this and then weld this thing into the beam, so therefore we have a place to bolt this thing down. this thing doesn't really seem that powerful. When it hits here, it just stops. So I'm not entirely sure how well this is going to work with it set up like this. I'm not entirely sure how well this linear actuator is going to work with this machine. Couple reasons. A, it's really slow. Second reason is I'm not sure how much power this thing has. I'm not sure how much force this thing produces. It says 400 pounds, but can it push 400 pounds or can it hold 400 pounds? That's a big difference. So my concern with this is, because this is a spline cutter and because there are multiple grooves per spline, how much material can we take off with each pass? If we have to take, let's say 5 passes with each groove just to get it down to the right size for the groove, and then there are, say, 25 grooves for one spline, you guys can see where I'm going with this. How long is it going to take to cut a spline with this machine when it moves this slow? So, I don't really have much faith in this setup right now, but I do want to give it a chance. I do want to see if it'll work. So I will give it I will give it a chance, but I have been designing in the back of my head a different way to make this whole thing work. And basically be turning this into a interesting version of a horizontal shaper. Would that be a bad case? Would that be a bad thing? Not really. It just means that it would make it more moving parts, more complicated, but it may make this thing work a lot better because I'm not sure if this is going to work. But I'm gonna give it a chance. We're gonna see if it'll work. Now we're done with the welding. We're finally done with the welding. This thing took forever, but I think let's. It's a little late right now. Tomorrow. Let's drag this thing in the garage, and then we can start working on the clapper box that goes right here. So I know that I said that we are also going to be building the clapper box for this once we get it in the garage, and now that it's in here, I think let's save that for the next video of this project. So therefore, in the next video, we can build the clapper box, finalize how this thing moves up and down, put the handle on here, build the tooling that's going to hold this thing, and finally, hopefully, test this machine to see if it actually works. So hopefully all that will be in the next video of this project. Not sure when that's going to be because stuff like this, videos like this, they're kind of more on the back burner while I more focus on other better videos. So stuff like this is kind of it's not really a high priority for me. So not sure when that video is going to be, but hopefully soon, or hopefully eventually we'll get to it. But for now, I gotta end this video here. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see ya in the next video. Dish. Oh.